Namaskar. Welcome to Devakshar. How to Overcome Mental Tension by Swami Gokulanadaji. We will continue with this book. As you all know, in this book, Maharaj discusses problems related to mental tension, and these are all based on personal interviews with people who have been bogged down by such problems. So far, Maharaj has discussed number one, stress and the body mind complex. Number two, role of higher values in resolving mental tension. Today, he will discuss some views about mental tension. Maharaj continues, let us now consider what Carl Gustav Jung, one of the eminent modern psychoanalysts, has to say about the causes of mental tension. According to Jung, tension is created by the double nature of human beings, masculine and feminine. By masculine, he meant extrovert, and by feminine, he meant introvert. In this world, we find people who are by nature extroverts, who always have an outgoing tendency and do not know how to lead an inner life. As against this, there are introverts. According to Jung, tension is the result of these two opposite tendencies, extrovert and introvert, working against each other in a single individual. What is the remedy to this tension? The remedy is that we must have a harmonious blending of the active aspect of life with the contemplative one. Leading an active life without devoting time to contemplation or inwardness may create havoc. Again, constant meditation alone without going through the usual procedure of learning the correct path from a true guru may also lead to mental imbalance. We have to strike a balance and adopt the middle path. We have to be active, and at the same time, we must have time for little meditation, introspection, and self-analysis. By a harmonious blending of these two opposite tendencies, masculine and feminine, that is extrovert and introvert, we can get rid of mental tension. Take the case of different people of this world, people of wealth, power, position, and such others. If we look into their lives, we find a great number of people, wealthy or powerful, greatly disturbed because they have not been able to reach the higher dimensions of existence. Unless our inner nature is satisfied, we will never be free from mental tension. Often a question comes to our mind: are all religious people content? Does it mean that those who take diksha or perform different ritualistic exercises have been able to overcome tension? It is not a fact, says Maharaj. Let us admit frankly that even people practicing meditation often suffer from mental tension. For instance, suppose a person is in a particular mood and is sitting in a temple or a shrine. If you go to him, he says rudely, "Don't disturb me, I am now meditating." Well, if you are really successful in meditation, it means that you are in communion with your higher nature. When you come back from your room or the temple, you should be a changed person. At least we expect a sweet, cordial behavior from you. But it has been our experience that people who do the so-called meditation sometimes become very violent. It shows that they do not know how to practice real spiritual discipline. We may conclude that if religious life is lived correctly, people will always be satisfied. They will become calm and collected. Anyone coming into contact with a truly religious person will feel the peaceful vibrations that emanate from such a person. We will think, here is a calm and collected man. We don't find any mental disturbances in him. But if we go to a person who is himself suffering from different kinds of agitation, we will naturally get a different kind of vibration. All this means that even if we do not have genuine realization of the inner truth. If through meditation we can have a glimpse of the higher self in us, then real meditation will go a long way in overcoming our mental tension.
And that is the
And why we
reason
find in Swami Vivekananda's conception of the emblem of Ramakrishna mission a harmonious blending of all the four yogas. Unlike Jung, who merely suggested a balance of the masculine and the feminine temperaments, that is, action and contemplation, Swami Vivekananda, a true rishi, following the tradition of our great masters, has gone further and suggested a harmonious blending of the four yogas in a comprehensive visual form. Those who are familiar with the emblem of the Ramakrishna mission and have studied and analyzed it carefully find that there is a lotus in the center which stands for devotion. A rising sun stands for jnana or wisdom, a serpent for psychic control, that is Raja Yoga, and the waves stand for karma. In the emblem, we also find a swan which stands for a divine soul or Paramatman. The idea is that through a harmonious blending of Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, we are able to realize the Paramatman in us. That is the reason Swamiji prescribed this new yoga, Samanvay Yoga, because in the present day world, all of us have to lead an extremely hectic life. Before we start our day's work, it is ideal to practice the Samanvay Yoga for at least 15 minutes. After this, when we go back to the field of activity, we are able to sustain an elevated mood. Let us illustrate this. Suppose one is an executive or is working in an office or is a doctor, a professional, a housewife, or something else. Even if we are not initiated devotees, even if we have not taken diksha from anybody, we can surely practice a little introspection in the morning at least. When we try to exercise psychic control of the mind, it is Raja Yoga. We are told that man is not finite, that behind this limited frame there is a divine spark. We try to be in tune with this divine nature by exercising mental, psychic control. That means we are doing a little of Raj Yoga. Then, once we are back to work, suppose as a housewife, one does household chores, we must love the work which has been given to us. If there is no love for the work, it ceases to be work. It becomes a drudgery. Now the person who acts with love is in the state of Bhakti Yoga. We may not go to a temple with flowers and incense sticks in the traditional sense of bhakti, but we have this devotional attitude through the grace of the Almighty, that whatever work we do, we are able to look on it with love and devotion. That is Bhakti Yoga, working with Shraddha. When we come into contact with numerous people in the course of the day, family, friends, colleagues, students, our attitude to all of them is similar, that there is the same Paramatman in all. Then we are discriminating between the eternal and the non-eternal. There is something eternal behind everyone. It is a recognition of man's divine nature. From the individual standpoint, it is the Atman. From the universal, it is Brahman. In this way, we are led to the practice of discrimination, which is Jnana Yoga. Again, when we work, if we do it without any ulterior motive, that is, work for work's sake, that is Karma Yoga. Swami Vivekananda said that we may do hundreds of jobs, but we should not let the work produce a single ripple in the mind. We should perform all actions with an attitude of non-attachment to the results. In this way, every day we are able to include the 4 types of yoga in our schedule. That is Samanvay Yoga. In the morning, before we begin the day's work, we are Raj Yogis. We begin our work with devotion and take up the attitude of a Bhakti Yogi. While working with or for others, we practice discrimination and are Jnana Yogis. And finally, we do all the tasks assigned to us in the spirit of Karma Yogis. Unless we adopt these attitudes, we are sure to react adversely to whatever incident takes place. For instance, if a subordinate insults a person, he will reply in kind unless he keeps in mind the innate divinity of the subordinate, which makes them equals on the spiritual plane. This is possible only through rigorous self-analysis, which is called Jnana Yoga. To be a successful practitioner of Samanvay Yoga, we have to constantly check whether we are exhibiting the right attitudes of mind. Swami Gokulanadaji Maharaj has explained the 4 yogas so well. Let us follow what Swami Vivekananda says. Use Samanvay Yoga. Stay tuned to Devakshar, watch the videos, subscribe to our channel, like and share the videos. Thank you so much for being with us.